I have to wonder, how are we raising males today? Because I look at the state of these males, and it clearly shows me these men aren't capable of taking care of themselves, let alone taking care of a family. Yesterday, when I was coming home from the library, I ran into one of these individuals in my building, and I'm riding up on the elevator, and this guy decides he's going to ask me, do I have a dollar? A grown man wearing Air Jordan sneakers and carrying a smartphone. He's going to ask me for a dollar. I just looked at him and I was like, are you serious? Do you have any sort of intangibles of manhood? You're going to ask a man for a dollar in an elevator, and you don't think that there's something wrong with this. It just boggles my mind how these males are being raised, because they're being raised to be dusty, to be crusty, to think bum behavior is normal. I mean, I wonder, where are the parents of these males out here, grown men who think it's okay to be out here begging other men for change, begging men for money, and thinking that this is perfectly normal behavior. This is dysfunctional behavior, no matter how you slice it. Because any man out here would understand that a man is supposed to have carry himself with some dignity, some self-respect, and a sense of self-worth. A man does not go out here begging other men for dollars. He doesn't do that because he understands that if he's going to get respect, he has to give respect. And the way you show respect is how you carry yourself. When you go out here and you beg another man for a dollar, it's saying, I don't respect myself, I don't value myself, I don't have a sense of self-worth. I am basically willing to degrade myself for that dollar. And that's what these grown men don't understand regarding this type of behavior. This is a degradation of self. It is a degradation of self-worth. It says that you do not value yourself as a man, that you're going to sit here and beg another man for a dollar and have the audacity to be wearing these expensive sneakers and be carrying a smartphone. Back in the day, if we were to do something like that, my parents would pretty much get a belt to me, because that's embarrassing for you to do. That says that you pretty much do not value yourself, you do not have any self-worth, you do not have any self-value, and that you pretty much have no dignity whatsoever, that you will degrade yourself for any price. I mean, that takes me back to something I read in a Richard Wright book many years ago, where they showed this guy pretty much making a complete fool out of himself. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of these males out here. They're just not being raised with any sort of dignity, to carry themselves with any sort of dignity. And these same males will sit there and say they're a man, they deserve to be treated like a man, but I look at you and you don't act like a man. I look at myself. I mean, I've been out of work for what, 7 going on 8 years, but I'm not going to go out here and say I'm going to try to beg another man for a dollar. Yes, I do things like Kickstarters to raise money for book covers, and I do promote books, but I'm giving somebody something in exchange for their money. I understand that that's a business transaction, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go out here, and if you take somebody's money, you're supposed to give them something in exchange for it. You're not supposed to sit there and stand outside or stand in front of an elevator or anything like that and as a grown man, ask another man for money. You're supposed to go out here and work for it. You're supposed to make some sort of effort to try to work for something. And then what I see with these men, they don't know how to be men. And it's clear to me that this is what happens when you have a lot of men who are raised by primarily women. They think that they can go out here, put up on some puppy dog eyes, tell some sad story, and people are supposed to just give them money. And that doesn't work like that. The world works like this. You have to offer goods and services, and then for the goods and services, people give you money. That's how the world works. But I look at many of these males, and it's clear to me something is wrong with them. They have this sense of entitlement. They feel that you're supposed to give them, that they're not supposed to go out here and do anything for any sort of money, and that you're just supposed to just hand it to them because they're here. And that's dusty. That's dusty. When I think about it, I mean, I think about many of these males. They'll sit up here. They'll get up in the morning at 6 a.m. to go stand outside of that Arab-owned store and watch that Arab man make dollars. And they'll stand out there and beg men like myself for change, talking about, can I get 50 cents? Can I get $1? So they can go right into that Arab-owned store and go give that Arab man their money for that black and mild, and then head out over to the dope man and get that nickel bag, and then go smoke that up, and then say, oh, well, that's just the way it's supposed to be. And the sad part is his mothers sit up there and enable these Negroes and these males out here, instead of kicking them in the behind and telling them, you want something, you got to go out here and work for it. Because you want these brand new sneakers, you're standing out here in brand new sneakers, you got a smartphone, but you don't want to use any of these tools to make money for you. No, you'd rather stand out here and beg for change. And this is not the first one I ran into. A couple days ago, before I ran into the guy yesterday, another guy, brand new New York Knicks jersey, brand new sneakers, going to ask me for 50 cents to get on the bus. And I just kept on walking because I said to myself, you're going to ask me for 50 cents to get on a bus when I know what you're going to do with the 50 cents. Again, you're going to use that, again, to go get you a black and mild to go smoke up, because I know what these Negroes do. Stand in front of the bus stop, and then when they get on the bus, they get on through the back door. They don't need no money to get on the bus. And it shows, again, how dusty these males are. And these same males are sitting there talking about, people need to respect me, people need to value me, and you're not doing anything to show that you're respectable or valuable. And the sad part is, the mothers and fathers haven't made any effort to teach these males what makes them respectable and valuable. I mean, if this guy was to get up and say, look, I want some money to go to the library, to go do some research, to go look for a job, I could see helping that guy. Because that's what I do every day. I go to the library every day trying to look for jobs, and while I'm doing work on my books and things, and promoting books and things, I'm trying to make an effort to improve my quality of life. But when I see males like this, it just frustrates me and disappoints me, because I worked for the leading job readiness workshop program where we dealt with guys like this. And to see these guys out here, you try to help them, and they're not trying to help themselves. They don't want to take that next effort to step up and say, look, I shouldn't be out here begging for change. I should try to find myself a place like a Strive for job readiness, so I can get the life skills that I need, so I can go out here and find work, and then be able to take care of myself and be able to, it's where I won't be out here begging for change. It shows me, again, many of these males, clearly something is wrong with the way they're being raised. They are not being taught life skills. They are not being taught social skills. They are not being taught about boundaries. They're not being taught about the intangibles of manhood, such as dignity, self-respect, self-worth, and the things that are internal to a man that make him a man of character and conscientiousness. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.